You want to be better. You want to be fit, entertained, productive, and maybe even a little bit mindful. It starts with a single click, a clean, minimalist interface, a button that says Start Free Trial. You think, it's just $10. That's like 2 coffees. I'd be an idiot not to do this. But then, 6 months later, you're looking at your bank statement wondering why your fixed costs look like a mid-sized corporation's payroll. You've been caught in the subscription trap. This isn't an accident. It's a multi-billion-dollar psychological web designed to turn your forgetfulness into someone else's yacht. Today, we're breaking down the SaaSification of your life. We're looking at the math, the psychology, and the brutal reality of why $10 is the most dangerous number in your wallet. By the end of this, you'll understand the exact tactics companies use to keep you paying for things you don't use, the metrics that drive their decisions, and how to perform a subscription audit that puts thousands back in your pocket. Why is everything $9.99? It's not a coincidence. This is called charm pricing. Your brain, in its infinite laziness, reads from left to right. When it sees $9.99, it encodes the digit 9 more strongly than the cents. It feels like under $10 rather than $10. Think about your FlexMind meditation app subscription. If they asked for $120 upfront for the year, you'd probably pause. You'd think, am I really going to meditate 365 times? The so what here is simple. Companies use charm pricing to bypass your logical, is this worth it filter. They want you to compare the cost to a sandwich, not to your annual savings goal. Cool. Now let's talk about how they make it impossible to leave. In the world of software, friction is any hurdle that stands between a user and an action. Amazon spent millions making one-click ordering a thing because every extra second you have to think is a second, you might realize you don't need that tactical spatula. Subscriptions are the ultimate friction killers. You sign up once, and the friction of paying vanishes forever. You don't have to decide to buy Netflix every month. The decision was made 3 years ago, and the machine just keeps humming. Take your FlexMind app. You haven't opened it since February, but because there's zero friction, no bill to sign, no card to swipe, you keep buying it every 30 days. The so what is that convenience is a double-edged sword. If it's easy to buy, it's easy to waste. The subscription model is actually built on the ghost. This is the user who pays but never shows up. Gyms are the pioneers of this. If every member of a Planet Fitness actually showed up on a Monday at 5 p.m., the building would literally explode. They over-leverage their physical space because they know 60% of people will lose interest but keep paying. This is exactly what's happening with your FlexMind sub. You like the idea of being a guy who meditates. Paying the $9.99 feels like progress, even if you never actually sit in silence for 10 minutes. You're paying for the version of yourself you wish you were. The so what is that companies aren't selling you a service. They're selling you a better version of you that you're too busy to actually become. To understand why companies are obsessed with subscriptions, you need to understand LTV, or lifetime value. This is the total amount of money a customer will spend before they finally quit. In the old days, Microsoft sold you a box of Office for $400. You bought it once, and they didn't see you again for 5 years. That's a transactional model. Now they want you on Microsoft 365 for $10 a month forever. If you stay for 10 years, your LTV is $100 and $200. Plus, they don't have to sell to you again. You're already in the ecosystem. Your FlexMind app doesn't care if you use the app. They just care about your churn rate. Churn is the percentage of people who cancel every month. If they can keep churn low, their LTV goes through the roof, making the company worth more to investors. The so what is that you aren't a customer. You're an annuity. You are a predictable stream of cash on a spreadsheet. Why do they give you 30 days for free? It's not because they're nice. It's because of the endowment effect. This is a psychological bias where we value things more simply because we own them. Once you've downloaded FlexMind, set up your profile, and picked your meditation goals, the app feels like yours. Losing access to it after 30 days feels like a loss, even if you never used it. Humans are naturally loss-averse, We hate losing $10 more than we love winning $10. By giving you a free trial, they aren't letting you try it. They are letting you own it so that taking it away hurts. The so what is that the free trial is actually a psychological tether. Once the card is on file, the trap is set. SaaS stands for software as a service, but now we're seeing the SaaSification of physical goods. BMW tried to charge a subscription for heated seats. Printers now have ink subscriptions, where the printer literally stops working if you stop paying. This is an attempt to turn every physical object into a recurring bill. They want to move away from "I own this" to "I rent my life." When you rent your life, you can never stop working, because the moment the cash stops, the seats get cold and the printer dies. Think about your FlexMind app again. If it was a book on meditation, you'd buy it once and own the knowledge. As a sub, the moment you stop paying, the peace of mind is locked behind a paywall. The so what is that ownership is being replaced by access, and access can be revoked the moment your credit card expires. Enter the bundle. Amazon Prime, Apple One, Disney Plus. They give you 5 services for the price of 3. It feels like a steal. But bundling is a tactic to make the service uncancelable. You might not watch Disney Plus, but you want the Star Wars movies, and your kid wants the cartoons, and you want the Nat Geo docs. If you cancel, you lose it all. Bundling increases stickiness. It makes the cost of switching or the cost of leaving too high. It's like if FlexMind bundled with a workout app and a meal tracker. You might stop meditating, but you're still using the meal tracker, so you keep paying the full bundle price. You're paying for a whole pizza when you only want one slice. The so what is that bundles are designed to hide the waste in your budget by wrapping it in value. Ever spend 45 minutes scrolling through Netflix only to end up watching a 10-minute YouTube video you've already seen? That's decision fatigue. When we have too many choices, our brains lock up. Subscriptions create a buffet atmosphere. Because you've already paid, you feel like you have to find something perfect to maximize the value. This leads to analysis paralysis. Your FlexMind app has 500 different meditations. Instead of just sitting down and breathing, you spend 15 minutes trying to decide if you need focus breath or morning gratitude. By the time you pick, your coffee is cold and you have to leave for work. The so what is that subscriptions often provide the illusion of value while actually stealing your time through choice overload. 1 subscription doesn't kill you. 10 subscriptions don't kill you. But the vampire effect is real. These are micro withdrawals that bleed your account dry over time. If you have Netflix, Spotify, a gym, ChatGPT Plus, Amazon Prime, iCloud storage, FlexMind, DashPass, and Xbox Game Pass, that's $142.43 a month. That's over $1,700 a year. If you invested that $1,700 a year into an index fund with a 7% return, in 30 years, you'd have about $160,000. Your minor subscriptions are literally costing you a house in your retirement. The so what is that you aren't paying $10, you're paying the opportunity cost of what that money could have become. I can't cancel my FlexMind sub, I've already paid for the full year. This is the sunk cost fallacy. Your brain thinks that because you've already spent the money, you have to get your money's worth. But the money is gone. Whether you use the app or not, that $120 isn't coming back. By forcing yourself to use it, or worse, keeping the sub active hoping you will use it, you're just wasting more time and potentially more money in the future. The so what is that getting your money's worth is often just a way to justify a bad purchase. If you aren't using it, the most logical thing to do is cut the loss immediately. Ever tried to cancel a subscription and felt like you were in an escape room? This is a dark pattern. It's a user interface designed to trick or frustrate you. The cancel button is hidden in a submenu. Then they ask you, "Are you sure?" 5 times. Then they offer you a discount. Then they tell you that you'll lose all your data. Companies like the creators of FlexMind know that if they make it 10% harder to cancel, 5% of people will just give up and pay for another month. That's pure profit built on frustration. The so what is that if a company makes it hard to leave, they don't value you as a customer. They value you as a hostage. Most people have a passive wallet. Money just flows out based on decisions they made months or years ago. To win the game, you need an active wallet. An active wallet requires a zero-based mentality. Every month, you should look at your subscriptions and ask, if I didn't have this today, would I sign up for it right now? If the answer for FlexMind is no, you kill it. You can always sign up again later. The friction of signing back up is actually your friend. It's a filter that ensures you only pay for what you actually value. The so what is that your default state should be not subscribed. Make the service earn its place in your budget every single month. There is a genuine hit of dopamine when you hit subscribe. It feels like a fresh start. New year, new you. You're going to be the guy who does yoga on FlexMind every morning. But dopamine is about anticipation, not satisfaction. Once the sign-up is done, the dopamine fades, and you're left with the actual work of using the service. Most of us are addicted to the feeling of starting, not the reality of doing. The so what is that you should never subscribe to something on an emotional high. Wait 24 hours. If you still want it, then pull the trigger. They always offer you a yearly discount. Save 20%. It sounds like a great deal, but yearly subscriptions are a bet on your future self. You're betting that you'll still want to meditate on FlexMind 11 months from now. Statistically, you won't. Unless you have used a service consistently for at least 90 days on a monthly plan, never commit to a year. The 20% savings vanishes the moment you stop using the app in month 4. The so what is that the yearly discount is actually a lock-in fee. Pay the extra couple of bucks for the monthly plan until you prove to yourself that the habit is real. Here is how you actually beat the system. Open your banking app, search for every recurring transaction, list them in a spreadsheet or just on a piece of paper. For each one, look at the last used date. If last used is more than 14 days ago, cancel it. Include everything: the gym, the cloud storage, the FlexMind app, the pro version of that photo editor you used once for a meme. The so what is that clarity is the enemy of the subscription model. They rely on you being too busy to check. Wall Street loves recurring revenue. Why? Because it's predictable. If a company knows they have 1 million people paying $10 a month, they can project their earnings for the next 3 years. This makes their stock price go up. When you subscribe to FlexMind, you are literally helping their valuation more than you are helping your own mental health. You are providing predictable growth for a venture capital firm. The so what is that you should be as greedy with your cash as they are with their projections. What happens when you cancel? Usually, nothing. You realize you don't miss the 50th streaming service. You realize you can find free meditation timers on YouTube that are just as good as FlexMind. You start to reclaim your mental real estate. Every subscription is a tiny open loop in your brain. Canceling them isn't just about the money. It's about the freedom of not being tied to dozens of digital services. The so what is that a leaner digital life is a more focused digital life. $9.99 is designed to trick your brain's left-to-right reading. Frictionless payments stop you from thinking about the cost. You're often paying for the idea of a better you, not the service. LTV, lifetime value, is the metric that turns you into a spreadsheet item. Free trials use the endowment effect to make canceling feel like losing. SaaSification is moving from ownership to constant renting. Bundles hide waste by wrapping it in perceived value. Decision fatigue makes you spend more time choosing than using. The vampire effect. 140 month is $160,000 over a career. Yearly discounts are usually traps for habits that won't last. Dark patterns are designed to make you a subscription hostage. An active wallet requires a zero-based mentality every month. The subscription model is the most efficient wealth transfer machine ever invented. It turns your small decisions into their big fortunes. By auditing your subscriptions today, you aren't just saving 10 bucks. You're reclaiming your status as a conscious consumer instead of a passive annuity. Go cancel that FlexMind app. You can meditate for free by just closing your eyes. It's actually more mindful to have $10 in your pocket than an app you don't use on your phone. If this video helped you save some cash, hit the like button. It's the only thing in your life that's actually free. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep your brain sharp and your wallet heavy. Or don't. At least I'm not charging you $9.99 a month for it.